अस्सलाम वालेकुम। नफीस खान साहब खैरियत सर?
जी अल्लाह करम है, आप खैरियत से हैं?
जी अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, अल्लाह करम। सलाम साहब, आकिल अजीम कैसे, खैरियत है?
सर अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह।
जी जी जी, और सर शुरू कर लें? सलाम साहब।
एक तो ये क्यों है यार सामने में, ये सोच रही हूँ।
अजीम, बैकग्राउंड में उसको ऑफ करवाइए, लोगों के माइक म्यूट करवाइए।
सर रिक्वेस्ट प्लीज अपने आप को म्यूट कर लें। हेलो,
क्या हुआ मकबूल?
नहीं।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
वालेकुम सलाम।
Afternoon to all. Myself Dr. Mohd Akim, and I am Program Assistant at Peripheral Pharmacovigilance Center, Central Research Institute of Unani Medicine, Lucknow. I am privileged to host this webinar. For today's webinar, we have two eminent speakers, Professor Mohd Aleemuddin, Quamri sir, who is coordinator of Intermediary Pharmacovigilance Center, and HOD, Department of Amraz Jild wa Tazminat, National Institute of Unani Medicine, Bengaluru, and Dr. Tarique Mehmood sir, Associate Professor and Head, Faculty of Pharmacy, Integral University, Lucknow. Without taking time, I would like to invite Dr. Mahbubus Salam sir, who is coordinator of Peripheral Pharmacovigilance Center and research officer, Central Research Institute of Unani Medicine, Lucknow, to deliver welcome address. Over to you, sir.
हेलो, अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
Yes, sir. Please continue.
तहे दिल से मैं खुश आमदीद करता हूँ आज अपने इमिनेंट स्पीकर जनाब अलीमुद्दीन कुमरी साहब का। अपनी बेइंतहा मसरूफियत के बावजूद इन्होंने हमारे टाइम दिया। मैं बहुत बहुत खुश आमदीद कहता हूँ डॉक्टर तारिक महमूद साहब को और अपने डिप्टी डायरेक्टर साहब को, जो बहुत ही, बल्कि ये प्रोग्राम भी होना मुमकिन नहीं लग रहा था अगरचे, क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ एक प्रोग्राम मिनिस्टर का भी लगा हुआ है और इनाग्रेशन का इस बिल्डिंग का, तो इसमें सभी लोग मसरूफ थे। फिर भी सब लोगों ने अपना वक्त निकाला और फार्माकोविजिलेंस की अहमियत से हम सभी वाकिफ हैं कि फार्माकोविजिलेंस की यूनानी के अंदर बतौर ख़ास बहुत सख्त इस वक्त ज़रूरत है। यूनानी के साथ एक जो मशहूर है कि ये दवाएं हमारी नुकसानदेह नहीं हैं, कोई साइड इफ़ेक्ट नहीं है, और इसके पीछे हम समझते हैं कि हमारा एक स्ट्रॉन्ग कंसेप्ट है अदविया का, मुस्लिह का। और इससे मज़ीद कुछ न कहकर मैं अपने डिप्टी डायरेक्टर साहब से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि वो अपना इंट्रोडक्टरी रिमार्क्स फ्यू वर्ड्स के अंदर दें। डॉक्टर मोहम्मद नफीस खान साहब।
Thank you, Dr. Salam. Today's speaker, Professor Mohd Aleemuddin Quamri Sahab, Coordinator IPBC and IUM Bengaluru. Dr. Tarique Mehmood Sahab, Associate Professor and Head, Faculty of Pharmacy, Integral University, and all learned audience, a very good afternoon, all of you. As you know, that the Ministry of Ayush has introduced new central sector scheme for promoting pharmacovigilance of Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, and homeopathy drugs. Prime objective of the scheme is to develop the culture of documenting adverse effects and undertake safety monitoring of Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, and homeopathy drugs, and surveillance of misleading advertisements appearing in the print and electronic media. With the intention of that the pharmacovigilance initiative will facilitate detection of potentially unsafe ACU and H drugs, medicines, and misleading advertisements for taking regulatory actions against them. The Standing Financing Committee, chaired by Secretary Ayush, approved the scheme of November 1, 2017, and subsequently it was rolled out for implementation in the country near the end of financial year 2017 and 18. The scheme intends to facilitate the establishment of three tiers network of number one is the National Pharmacovigilance Coordination Center, that is NPVCCC. Number two is Intermediary Pharmacovigilance Center, IPVC. And last one is the third, Peripheral Pharmacovigilance Center, that is PPVC. All India Institute of Ayurveda, New Delhi has been designated as National Pharmacovigilance Center. In the initial phase of implementation, 5 National Institutes of Ayush are designated as the intermediary pharmacovigilance centers, and 74 institutions of Ayush having clinical facilities as peripheral pharmacovigilance center. It is intended to have more than such centers across the country. Representative of Central Drug Standards Control Organization as the National Drug Regulatory Authority and the Indian Pharmacopoeia Commissions, being the WHO collaborating center for pharmacovigilance center, as are associated in the initiative as mentor and guide. The pharmacovigilance is more than spontaneous reporting alone, and the evaluation of medicines is more than pharmacovigilance. It is the branch dealing with adverse drug reactions, their recognition and reporting. ADR is defined by the WHO as response to a drug that is noxious, unintended, and which occurs at doses normally used in man for prophylaxis, diagnosis, or therapy of disease, or for the modification of physiological functions. Pharmacovigilance is defined by the WHO as a science with activities that relate to the detection, assessment, understanding, and prevention of adverse effects of any other drug related problems. The common myth regarding herbal medicines is that these medicines are completely safe and can therefore be safely consumed by the patient on his or her own without a physician's prescription. This belief has led to a large scale of self-medication by people all over the world, often leading to disappointing in results, side effects, or unwanted after effects. Hence, Ayush practitioners and consumers now need to be vigilant about the safety monitoring of drugs in the interest of public health.
क्या हो गया क्या हो गया मेरा माइक ऑफ ऑन
Sir, your voice is not coming, sir. मंगलनामा से गायब हो
हेलो हाँ सॉरी एक कॉल आ गई थी.
Yes, yes.
So the Ayush practitioners and consumers now need to be vigilant about the safety monitoring of drugs in the interest of public health. The Peripheral Pharmacovigilance Center, CRIM Lucknow, has been functional in the year 2018, and since the inception, we are continuously engaged in monitoring and reporting misleading advertisements and ADRs. We are constantly collaborating with the other educational institutions and practitioners of Ayush system in the neighboring areas of Lucknow, and their program is also as a part of awareness. I hope our learned audience will definitely benefited today's lectures. Now, without taking your much time, I turn to time to Dr. Akil Azim for further proceedings. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for delivering opening remarks. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Tarique Mehmood, sir, who is presently holding the position as Associate Professor and Head, Faculty of Pharmacy, Integral University, Lucknow. Dr. Tarique has research expertise in field of ethnopharmacology, pharmacological screening of herbal drugs and formulations, cardiovascular disorders, dyslipidemia, diabetes, and obesity. He has more than 15 years of experience in teaching, research, and pharmaceutical industry. He has supervised around 40 MPharm and so on PhDs. He has more than 50 research review papers in various national and international journals. Now, I humbly request to Dr. Tarique Mehmood sir to deliver his talk. बहुत माजरत के साथ सर से कहना चाहूँगा within 20 minutes अपना presentation दें.
Thank you, Mr. Azim. Good afternoon and assalamu alaikum to all of you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Please continue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Please.
Respected Dr. Mohd Nafis Khan Sahab, Deputy Director CRIU, Dr. Ziaul Haq Siddiqui Sahab, Research Officer, Dr. Mehboob Salam Sahab, Coordinator of this program, CRIM Center, and my fellow speaker, Dr. Mohammad Aleemuddin Quamri Sahab, and all other the dignitaries, authorities, and doctors which are associated with Ayush and CCRM. A very warm good afternoon. Greetings from Faculty of Pharmacy, Integral University to all of you. Last month, actually, Mehboob Saab said to me that they will organize such type of a program related to the pharmacovigilance of ASU&H drugs, and he invited me for that lecture. So I happily agreed with at the same time. And as Mr. Azim said that the time is very limited, and when I received the program day after before, then I found that the topic actually, if you find the in brochure, the topic is same of mine and Dr. Aleemuddin sir. Actually, the current perspectives and challenges. So I quickly in morning I quickly revised some slides and my some points in such a way that the things are not repeated actually. Uh, so briefly, I'll go to my slides, and as instruction by the Mr. Azim, I'll finish it 20 to 25 minutes, and that's the same instruction actually I was also received by Mehboob Sahab also. Okay, so I will start.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead.
My slides are visible.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. So research. As I choose the topic pharmacovigilance of ASU drugs, current prospects and future challenges, and I told to you that the same with that Dr. Aleemuddin Saab. So I'll try my best to not repeat on that one. I'll try to focus on the basics one and that current prospect and future challenges left to the my fellow speakers, so things will not be repeated.
Sir, please start slide 2.
My talk is divided into some basic subtitles, that is introduction, background and aims of pharmacovigilance, as Dr. Mohammad Nafis Khan Sahab briefly described about the latest development related to the pharmacovigilance of the herbal drugs
Screen कर
in
दें, sir,
India
please.
as well as yes.
Slide show कर दें सर, full screen कर दें. Presentation को अपना सर.
Now it's okay.
Full screen slide, please, sir.
Uh, I think it's in my screen, it's full screen, Mr. Azim.
Sir, continue. Please continue. Maybe due to network problem.
Okay, okay. So, by the basic thing is that the basic understanding of what is adverse are the points which consider under the tagline of adverse effect in terms of herbal work. So there is no such difference between synthetic compound and herbal compound that the definition of adverse effect with the synthetic one is different and herbal one is different. Actually, the definition is same by the WHO, that this is a science and activities related to the detection, assessment, understanding, prevention of adverse effect or any other that related problem. And the same with that ADRs also. The definition of that ADR, that is the as Mr. Azim, I think you can express to all participants that mute their mics.
परवेज साहब म्यूट कर लीजिए माइक.
Hmm. Uh, and that same thing applies to the definition also. Actually, the idea, terminology which says that what is ADR for the herbal or what is ADR for synthetic, that is the same. A response to a drug which is nauseous and unintended, which occurs at the dose normally used in man for prophylaxis. That is very important. Actually, there is a very confusion and misconception is that whenever there is a high doses or whenever is the overdosing of any compound, either it is a synthetic one or herbal one, then it causes the adverse effect and that thing. But that doesn't mean. Actually, the ADR definition says very clearly that all effect apart from the synthetic which are considered as the nauseous one or unintended are treated within the normal limit of doses one. A very good example of herbal one is the reaction with the intake of Google. And there is some difference in the terminology of adverse event with that one. Adverse event, any untoward medical occurrence that may present during the treatment with pharmaceutical product, but which does not necessarily have a causal relationship with the treatment. That is the adverse event. Sometimes patient complain with some problems which is not related to that particular therapy which is going on. Either it is herbal therapy or the therapy, but it should they may consider or align with the concurrent therapy, so it is reported not as adverse effect, it is reported as adverse event. And what are the side effects? It is a very interesting point also. There is a hairline difference between the adverse effect and the side effect actually. uh, you can say that the side effect basically which is related to the pharmacological properties of the drug, like as we for the student purpose or for the researcher purpose, we can understand by the very common example that atropine, use of atropine in organophosphorus poisoning achieves therapeutic action by its anticholinergic activity, but at same time causes dryness of eye mouth and dilation of pupil, which is not nauseous, and that is side effect actually. That is not considered as what I said, because it doesn't guard the problem actually. This is the effect which is related to its pharmacological action, or you can say the mode of action of particular herbal drug or synthetic drug or synthetic or pharmaceutical compound. So that should be considered in the category of SE, not AE. There is terminology that is serious adverse event, that is any adverse event which is fatal, life threatening, permanently disabling, or which result in hospitalization. It is considered in SE. And expected adverse reaction and opposed to the unexpected, an event that is noted in the brochure or labeling. There are some now the ASU&H also follow that guideline which is followed earlier by that Schedule H or Schedule medicine, and that is the GMP and WHO guideline also that make the contraindication and make the caution on the label of the pharmaceutical product of the synthetic one. Now the same will follow for the ASU&H drug also. The companies, herbal companies make that instruction in the label also for their expected reactions. These are the you can say warnings, and you can suffer with that one when you you take that medicine. And there is a quick year review that what is the history behind that. In the whole story start with the 62 when the amendment in the Federal Food Drug and Cosmetic Act is required, which got both safety and efficacy data, which the first time the term safety included in that one. Before that, there is no such discussion related to the safety of any drug. And 63, British Committee of Safety of Drug Monitoring established. 64, the yellow card system in the UK only. Then come to the 78, the WHO started that Upasla Center of that pharmacovigilance. And that is the basic aim of PVI in India, as Dr. Nafis very well explained in a very short way, that improve patient care and safety, improve public health and safety, to contribute the assessment of benefit, harm, effectiveness, and risk of medicine, to promote understanding, education, and clinical training. That is a very important point actually, because the awareness regarding the pharmacovigilance is not at par, or you can say good, in terms of a normal clinical practitioner. Either it is in the ASU&H drug, or it will be a modern practitioner. And at the same time, there is a bilateral, actually the bilateral requirement is needed. The patient education and the awareness is also required, because Dr. Nafis very well said that the self-medication is a very common problem in India. And one more problem, it is a very classical example of the diabetes patient. आपने देखा होगा, most of the diabetes patient, they take the medicine, normal medicine, with from the doctor, which prescribe either the metformin or glimepiride, whatever the medicine. And apart from that, they take some herbal medicine also, that ये गोली इससे बहुत जल्दी शुगर रिड्यूस हो जाती है, या किसी वेद ने दी है, या कोई भी हकीमी और इलाज साथ में करते हैं. तो ये जो concurrent therapy with ये, that is very harmful, and that type of patient you will easily see, and you also observe many cases, such type of cases which suffers with the hypoglycemia. Actually, that hypoglycemia is due to that one, because they in not only that diabetes case, the same thing with the hypertensive case, the same case with the patient with high cholesterol. They take the normal statin also, and they take the some medicine which are related to reduce the cholesterol, and have from that this basket, from ASU&H basket drug. So that actually combo, actually that is very harmful, and for that one, two things required. One thing is that the patient education, and second thing is that to educate and to promote the understanding and clinical training among the physicians of is that in the clinical setup, in during the patient counseling, patient से ये चीज जरूर confirm कर लें कि apart from that therapy आप कौन कौन सी और medicine खा रहे हैं या नहीं ले रहे हैं. And that is a brief history of pharmacovigilance in India. I doesn't go to that, and directly move to the National Pharmacovigilance Program for ASU drugs. This perception is likely to change in the light of some recent incidents of ADR during their use. The first national consultative meeting of national, this is already all of we know that thing. And as the for that one ASU&H drug, the NPV starts on the 29th September of 2008. After that, the whole hierarchy is maintained and the system is developed, and there are some things which should be known by everyone related to all that one. Either it is a clinician one or the research scholar one or the student one. Okay, what is the system? The first thing is that what to report. All suspected adverse reactions are reported. Lack of effect, resistance, and drug interaction. That is also reported. There are three things mentioned in that guideline. What to report. The first is all suspected adverse reaction. The second one is lack of effect, resistance, and drug interaction. It is also very important. Actually, in some cases, patient says that there is a problem related to अब ये जो मैं दवा खा रहा था ये इतने दिन से इलाज की वजह से ये पहले तो बहुत सही मेरे ब्लड शुगर लेवल मेंटेन रहता था अब डॉक्टर साहब इससे ये मेंटेन नहीं रह रहा है इट मीन्स इट इज अ साइन क्लिनिकल साइंस ऑफ कहीं ना कहीं उसके अंदर द ड्रग स्टार्ट द डेवलपिंग द रेजिस्टेंस so it also be reported in the same manner. And the third one is the reaction suspected of causing a death, or B point is the life threatening real risk of dying, hospitalization, or disability. And the third last one is the congenital anomaly. Who can report? Any healthcare professional can report. That is also a very important point. That's why I highlighted that one. Any healthcare professional को मैंने इसीलिए highlight किया है. That is the responsibility of the all members which are included in a healthcare system chain. If there is a if एक कोई भी problem, if there is a problem in some patient and patient complain that one, तो उस patient की complaint को बहुत serious लेके हमको इसको report करके proper way में आगे बढ़ाना है. That is the responsibility of all healthcare professional in respect to that proper monitoring or establishing of the pharmacovigilance program, and shall not expect report from the lay members of the public. Others can report through the physicians under whom he or she had undergone treatment. Consumer can directly report to the concerned PPC, RPC, nearest health center or physician regarding the suspected ADR. That is also a very good initiative taken in that one. कि consumer directly भी इसको report कर सकता है. What happened to the report? It is confidential. It is a very important one. Patient को हमको ये बताना है कि it is a confidential one. Don't worry. Your name and all other things you will still not be disclosed in any public platform or public domain. PPC forwarded the form to the respective RPC. Analysis, the data will be statically analyzed and forwarded to Department of Ayush, and that is hierarchy. All of you know that one. PPC to RPC, then NPRC, then National Center, and then the all documentation in the Ministry Department. And what are the responsibilities of the center to collect the ADR report? The first one, the basic one, to fill in a ADR form properly, to forward duly filled ADR form to the next higher center, to maintain a log of all ADR notification form, to provide general technical support, coordination, monitoring, and functioning of all the centers. To carry out the causality analysis of all ADR forms, to forward all duly filled ADR form as per predetermined timeline. That is very important one, because in ADR the timeline is very important. To report all SADRs with 24 hours. जितने सीरियस हैं उनको हमको 24 hours के अंदर रिपोर्ट करना है, जितने सीरियस वाले कैटेगरी के हैं, जो मैंने इससे पहले वाली स्लाइड्स में बताया था. To forward periodic report to the next higher center, to organize and attend training programs, interactive meetings for all lower level centers. It is also very important, and I congratulate to the regional center and especially Dr. Mohd to organizing that type of session, which causes basic awareness and teaching and learning atmosphere related to pharmacovigilance in the practitioners related to the ASU&H drugs. What are the future prospects and challenges? There is a need for development of a strong PV system for ASM. As I told earlier also, mandatory reporting for the PV of medicine belonging to ASM for renewal of license. That is also a very important point. Discussion with various stakeholders on effective implementation of PV programs. There is a need to depute specialized and trained staff for PV in ASM. That is a very important and genuine point. We need the we need the trained staff. We need that. Yes.
The slides are not moving.
My slides are not visible.
Not
Okay.
moving.
It is future prospects and challenges, not.
No, sir, not changing.
Okay.
Outlines चाहिए, sir.
Now it is.
Yes, sir. All right.
Okay. Okay. Creating a single country specific adverse event reporting form to be used by all, generating a clinical trial and post marketing database for ADRs, compulsory training and education of PV to medical students, pharmacists, nurses, and medical professionals, PV with newer information technology methods, would enhance drug safety and post marketing surveillance programs. And now I conclude my talk with that some points that there is an urgent need for executing compulsory PV in all systems of medicine. With the growing number of patients in ASM, there is an acute requirement of implementation of PV policy to make the healthcare system safe and effective. In India, majority of rural population depends on alternative system of medicine, and it is essential to build up a feasible system, governance, infrastructure, human resource, training and capacity building, sustainable methodologies and innovation in PV in alternative system of medicine. This would also require dedicated strength and support from all other healthcare segments for a secure future of the patient. Thank you for patient listening. And I summarize my presentation as I told earlier in a very starting date that because of time I cannot repeat repetition of things. I summarize my slide and I conclude with that some key, you can say the key points in the last, that two very important thing in the pharmacovigilance is that the the in clinic, the first thing is that the patient education, patient counseling is very important related to the use of not using the bilateral rhythm of medicine, and related to that concentrate and focus on the prescription which is given by the physician, either the Unani physician or Ayurveda physician. Concentrate on that one. Don't go with that two parallel or three parallel system with the same thing. That is a very important point. And the last one is that to educate the new generation regarding the pharmacovigilance and to conduct the monitoring system and to give the training. At least 3 months training is required to learn the pharmacovigilance. In the government pharmacovigilance centers start many type of programs which are required, which are meant for by the for early practitioners. So we should do some, at least some days of training to learn the basic concept of pharmacovigilance. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your valuable insight on the topic. जैसा कि सर आपने कहा कि इंशाल्लाह आगे आने वाले टाइम में अगर हमारे हायर सेंटर से परमिशन मिलती है तो हम ट्रेनिंग भी देने की कोशिश करेंगे जो हेल्थ प्रोफेशनल्स हैं. आपके सजेशन को सर लोग देखेंगे. Now I would like to invite Professor Mohd Aleemuddin Quamri, sir, with a brief introduction. Dr. Quamri is presently working as a professor and head of Amraj Vigilance in IUM Bangalore. He has 28 years of clinical experience, 21 years of teaching, and 16 years of research experience. His areas of research are musculoskeletal disease, lifestyle disease, allergic tadbir, psychiatry, and dermatology. He has supervised 27 and 5 PhDs. He has more than 100 scientific research articles published in peer-reviewed in-depth journals. Now, I humbly request Professor Dr. Mohd Aleemuddin Quamri, sir, to deliver his lecture. Over to you, sir.
नहीं ऐसा नहीं है. क्या गलत कर रहे हो? Presenting ignore. No, this is wrong. You are presenting here. No. Start presenting. Just take this. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon to all of you. Before I start this webinar, I extend my greetings to the organizers of this webinar, that is the Central Research Institute of Unani Medicine, Lucknow. And my greetings are due to Dr. M. Nafis Khan Sahab, the Deputy Director, CRIUM Lucknow, who was formerly the coordinator of the program, who is well versed and introduced the objectives of the program and how this government of India has taken initiation to launch this program of the pharmacovigilance for the ASU drugs and different objectives. I was just learning some of the things from the eminent speaker, the Dr. Tarique Mehmood, who is an associate professor and head of the department, Faculty of Medicine, the pharmacy, that's Integral University Lucknow, for the wonderful deliberation. Of course, it's mere coincidence between both of us. The topic is one and same, but the percept of my issues or challenges are based on the cross-sectional study. I requested Dr. Tarique Mehmood to be stay with us so that I need your valuable suggestions also. One thing, and I'm very grateful to our coordinator, Dr. Mahbub Salam Sahab, who is that coordinator presently taking care of the CRIUM Lucknow, Dr. Ziaul Haq Siddiqui, research officer, who has also been assigned certain responsibility of this webinar, and the very dynamic program assistant who is working since for the last 3 years, more or less the 2 years, Dr. Akhil Azim, program assistant, because of his efforts as a part of the responsibility, who make this program to be very instrumental. I have some technical issue to present this one. Just to give me a small time, please, that I'll be joining with the presentation. No. Here I'm always facing problem with this Google Meet. Anyhow, sorry for the inconvenience.
Your slides are visible, sir.
Is it visible now? Yeah. Okay. This is actually that the agreement between both of us has taken place, that I would like to place something about the pharmacovigilance of ASU drugs, issues and challenges. And as the former speaker told about that, we are literally sharing the same topic, but the content is different. I don't want to waste much of my time. I'm not sure of that what is the amount of time given to me for my presentation. Basically, the definition already both Nafis Khan sir and Mr. Tarique Mehmood sir has been covered. So I don't want to put the genesis. What makes us to think about the pharmacovigilance? That is a great history. In the medical history, we have incidents like the Hannah Greener, who was killed unknowingly with the use of a chloroform as anesthesia, and followed by there is a historical medical adverse report associated with acetyl salicylic acid use. And the major milestone in the field of pharmacovigilance was use of the elixir sulfanilamide among the pediatrics, with a change in the dosage form causes loss of more than 100 children with respiratory failure. And again, the biggest incident in the history of pharmacovigilance genesis is the thalidomide disaster, which causes there is an anomaly in the given birth of the people. And like Dr. Nafis Khan has already placed before the August audience, the pharmacovigilance program of ASU, that is Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, Homeo drugs, started somewhere in the year 2004, particularly for the ASU, apart from this conventional system under the Institute of Postgraduate Teaching and Research for Ayurveda, Jamnagar. But due to certain constraints, the first movement of this pharmacovigilance project was dropped. Again, this program has been renaissance of taken place somewhere in the 2017 as a central sectoral scheme under the Ministry of Ayush, Government of India. Today, as a parent part of the second initiation of the Government of India, we people are working extensively throughout the India, Like Dr. Nafis Khan has already told, we have a one national pharmacovigilance center, followed by 5 intermediary pharmacovigilance centers and 74 peripheral pharmacovigilance center, out of which peripheral pharmaco center, Lucknow. Today we are going to meet with all of this. The basic objectives are again specified by the pharmacovigilance of ASU drugs are the specific aim of this one is improve patient care and safety in relation to the use of medicines and all medical and paramedical interventions that is being used for the patient. Overall, if you look at that, the objective of the program is to improve public health and the safety is the biggest concern. Like my former speaker and the previous introducer has told about that, generally the conventional medicine is different from the classical or the old traditional medicine, particularly the Ayush drugs. And we believe that all Ayush drugs are safe just because they have derived from the nature. But it is proved that all the drugs which have been derived from the nature are not safe because they themselves have a number of toxic substances which is proved to be fatal, unexpected, unusual adverse drug reactions were manifested among the people who are consistently using these herbal drugs. With this brief, the objective of this program, which is initiated by the government, is to foster the reporting culture. People who are involved are the people of the health delivery or healthcare system, starting from the bottom to the base level to the highest. All the people are made responsible to develop reporting the culture of adverse drug reaction. Like that, we have an intermediary to involve large number of healthcare professional, which includes practitioners, nursing staff, paramedical, all those people. At the end, the government intention is to plan something like a benchmark for the global drug monitoring. Particularly, we are going to talk about the Unani system of medicine. Of course, Unani system of medicine, India is one of the global capital for this Unani, but we need to propagate the system, we need to circulate the system globally, and for that we need to have data which ensures that the drugs used in the Unani system of medicines are safe, they are free from the adverse drug reaction. That is what we are looking for, the long term there's global drug monitoring, that is a long term objective. With this, I don't want to waste my time. Like, this is the hierarchy of the work, how this pharmacovigilance program for Ayush drug is being executed. We have a National Pharmacovigilance Center at the All India Institute of Ayurveda, Delhi, followed by IP, thus intermediary pharmacovigilance centers. 5 are there, out of which 1, National Institute of Unani Medicine, Bangalore, is been nominated as an intermediate center to exclusively work on Unani apart from the other Ayush system of medicine. We already shared this information. We have at the bottom 74 for peripheral pharmacovigilance centers. This is the pictorially we are representing that National Pharmacovigilance of the Delhi, Jaipur and Jamnagar evidences with Ayurveda, and Bangalore is Unani, Kolkata for homeopathy, and Siddha is meant for the Chennai is having Siddha. Like that, throughout the India, almost all the states they have covered with one another system of peripheral pharmacovigilance centers meant for documenting, collecting the information and ensuring the safety of the people or the patients. I don't want to spend much of a time on the terminology which is often used in this pharmacovigilance program. Like, there is a general percept. People generally speaks about side effects and adverse drugs are something like a similar. Dr. Tarique Mehmood has already explained about the side effect with giving a reference of atropine, and several other drugs are also adverse drug reaction. All these things keeping aside, basically we are focusing on adverse drug reaction, which is nothing but a response to a drug or any substance which is noxious and unintended, and which occurs at the doses normally used either for prevention, diagnosis, or for the treatment, or for any modification of the physiological function, what we are generally going to do here. My topic, what I'm going to cover is issues and the challenges of the execution and implementation of this program, particularly with the Unani system of medicine. I thought to share some of the basic things and how we are working for the last 3 years to sensitize all the stakeholders, particularly the practitioners, teachers, medical students. This is a glimpse of my explanation here. In India, Unani system of medicine, I said already, if you look at the Indian Unani system of medicine, I'm sure India is the global capital for Unani system of medicine with respect to what is called as the education, patient care, and research also. Apart from India, I think there are the countries which are neighboring countries of the Asian and the other countries that are also equally focusing for development and adaptation of the Unani system of medicine because of its anecdotal and evidence-based reports of effectiveness. Practically look at that in India, we have around half of the century recognized government, private and the government institutions exclusively working for the imparting education. If you look at that, around 2,500 students per year being graduated, and some of them are going for the post graduation and the PhD level also. That's what the India is now excel with the providing excellent education up to the post graduation level. And there are institutions dedicatedly working for the research activities of the Unani system of medicine, which number to be nearly some 25 institutions are there all over India. And very happy to say around 50,000 Unani practitioners registered in different states. They are the graduated practicing physicians, and we have a good number also. The data what I'm going to share is just provided by the ministry, updated in the June 2021 only. And now 15 state houses 263 Unani hospitals and 4686 beds around this. And very happy to say there are nearly 1,028 Unani dispensaries across 20 Indian states, and particularly the central government hospital sector is also having 10 dispensaries managing throughout the world. This data, मेरा मकसद इन तमाम चीज़ों को हमारे क़ारीन और नाज़रीन को इस वजह से मुझे शेयर करना पड़ रहा है कि हम फार्माकोविजिलेंस के तहत जो चैलेंजेस इश्यूज हमने जो महसूस किए हैं, हिंदुस्तान जैसे अजीम शान मुल्क में इसकी इतनी वसत में कई सारे प्रैक्टिशनर और कई तिब्बी तरीकों को इस्तेमाल करने वाले लोग मौजूद हैं, बिलखुसूस तिब्बी यूनानी के लोगों में हमने एक सर्वे कंडक्ट किया, जिसके दौरान जिस सर्वे से हमने जो मवाद जो मसाइल हासिल किए हैं और जिन मुद्दों को हमने अवाम उन्नास तक पर्टिकुलरली यूनानी प्रैक्टिशनर्स, डॉक्टर्स, टीचर, रिसर्चर्स, इन सब से हमने शेयर किया, तो हमें पता चला और ये तमाम इंफॉर्मेशन हम आप लोगों से शेयर करना चाहते हैं. आई नीड योर अटेंशन, particularly Dr. Tarique Mehmood, Nafis Khan Saab and Mahbub Salam and other people, because I need your input for this one. Here, this one study, this is a purely digitally circulated, what is called as a Google form. We have circulated throughout the India in anticipation. All the people, teaching institution, research centers, practitioners will actually be part in this one. And the questionnaire was kept for a month, complete 30 days. And luckily, I think there are only 1,172 people interested to be participate in the study. Out of that, some only 1,082 people only responded to the study. 90 people denied this. इसका मतलब ये हुआ इतनी बड़ी मुल्क और करीबन 50,000 प्रैक्टिशनर, सालाना 2,500 ग्रेजुएट्स फारिग हो रहे हैं, बहुत सारे रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूशन से जुड़े हुए हैं और भी लोग ताजिर भी हैं, जिसमें इन सब को हमने ये कम्युनिकेट करने की कोशिश की कि ताकि हम उनकी नॉलेज को, उनके इल्म को, हम उनके मतलब मालूमात को हम महसूस कर सकें. बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली वी गॉट ओनली वेरी फ्यू स्मॉल डाटा. दिस इज अराउंड 1,082 ओनली. एंड हैप्पी टू प्लेस दैट इसमें करीबन हमारे 20 स्टेट्स के पार्टिसिपेंट्स इसमें रहे. एंड तमिलनाडु occupied 23% of the responses, followed by Bihar, that 18%, Karnataka the 14%. We are the hosting here, and happy to say UP people around 13% of the total sample was represented from the Uttar Pradesh, 12.1% from Andhra Pradesh. Like that, Telangana and National Capital Territory Delhi, we have only 1.2% of the population. इसमें इन लोगों से हमें रेस्पॉन्स मिले. बाकी रियासतों से भी काफी लोगों ने, यहाँ तक हिमाचल प्रदेश से भी हमारे पास जवाब आते रहे. राइट. दिलचस्प बात यह है कि जो टोटल पॉपुलेशन, जो 1,000 से ज्यादा लोगों ने इस सर्वे में हिस्सा लिया था, 62.7% स्टूडेंट तलबा रहे हैं, जिसमें से 25.37% पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट स्टूडेंट्स हैं. ग्रेजुएशन के बाद जो इंटर्न्स हैं 9.373% इंटर्न्स ने इसमें शिरकत किया हुआ है. बीएमएस 4th ईयर, 1st ईयर, 3rd ईयर और 2nd ईयर के तलबा भी, जिसमें कसरत थी 21.83% 4th ईयर के स्टूडेंट्स. हमारा मंशा था कि ये वी वुड लाइक टू नो दैट whether the 4th year, final year intern students, how much of a knowledge they have about the pharmacovigilance and about their own system of medicine. And luckily we have a good number of the private practitioners, around 12.5% people as a private practitioners, they responded to us. And I can say teachers, little bit poor response from teachers. There is 11.2% teachers responded as. Medical officers who are working in a government sector around 7.8%, and above all 8.1% other people also responded. This is the 100% of the responses what we got. And the purpose of our what we have thought here it is, एक हमने स्कोर देखा स्टडी से देख के, and see if a score people are getting less than 40% score, we categorize them as a poor knowledge about our own system and the pharmacovigilance. People who are falling between 41 to 60 average knowledge रखते हैं, and 61 to 79 score जो हमने देखा उसका जो क्वेश्चनर से, उसको हम गुड करार दिया. Any person who is getting more than 80% of the score in that questionnaire, we categorize them excellent. If you look at the frequency and the percent, highest number 38% of the responses what we got is good. Of course, our intention is to enhance this number, reducing the poor number as a whole. The outcome is represented here. Like, just a moment. Okay, this is the graphically what shows. This is 38%, highest good responses were there. आइए हम ये समझने की कोशिश करें हमने उनसे क्या पूछा. How the people started respond to this one. Okay, this is a problem. पहला क्वेश्चन हमने उनसे पूछा था कि फार्माकोविजिलेंस डील्स विद.
Visible, sir.
Is it visible now, sir? Okay. The primary question we asked them, pharmacovigilance deals with. People responded that around 82.3% people, 1082 लोगों में इन लोगों ने जो हमें जवाब दिया that pharmacovigilance is the right answer, monitoring of the drug safety and other drug related problems. So we are very happy. 82% is good enough. People responded to us. Immediately then we have placed a question. In India, the country where I consider itself as the global capital for the Unani system of medicine, and we asked who is monitoring the pharmacovigilance of ASU drugs. Either this one, the answer was Ministry of AYUSH, Government of India, and we got the response is around 50.9%. This is really happy. But at the same time, if you look at this central drug standardization, the CDSCO, basically the CDSCO is responsible for the allopathic system of medicine and other thing. But people are well versed with that. There are certain agencies which are working for documenting about the pharmacovigilance program. We are happy because यहाँ 50% से ज्यादा लोग ये जानते हैं कि मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ आयुष एक्सक्लूसिवली आयुष फार्माकोविजिलेंस प्रोग्राम पे काम कर रही है और फार्माकोविजिलेंस का मकसद भी लोग जानते थे. द सेकेंड पॉइंट इज हमने उनसे कुछ चीजें जो बैनुल अक़वामी सतह पे इसकी शोहरत के मुताल्लिक हमने पूछा. द इंटरनेशनल सेंटर फॉर एडवर्स ड्रग रिएक्शन मॉनिटरिंग कहाँ है, तो हमें पता चला कि लोगों ने जवाब दिया 68% of the population they told about the Uppsala monitoring center that is आ रही है. Is it Uppsala Sudan लोगों ने बताया. Is it visible, sir?
Yes, visible, sir.
Oh, thank you. My voice is clear, is it?
Fine, sir. Perfect.
So here we got that 68% of the people responded that the International Drug Monitoring Center, adverse drug जो monitor करता है वो सुदान है. Very happy. Our audience, our participants are very good enough. We feel a little bit happy. But at the same time, some people say that 20% they stated that United States of America, right? And the another thing what we asked them is it correct to keep the drugs of exclusively herbal drug origin under the purview of pharmacovigilance? Because आयुष के जितने भी ड्रग्स हैं वो सारे हर्बल ऑरिजिन है. आयुर्वेदा, यूनानी, सिद्धा, होम्यो, मे बी इट्स समथिंग लाइक ए केमिकल एक्सट्रैक्शन इज देयर. बट इंडियन सिस्टम ऑफ मेडिसिन के जितने भी सिस्टम्स हैं, क्या उनको जो हर्बल है उनको फार्माकोविजिलेंस प्रोग्राम में रखना चाहिए? तो अक्सरियत लोगों की हमें जवाब दी एस. See, you look at the 78% of the population of the study, they said yes, we have to be the part of the pharmacovigilance because people they have very good thinking about it. But some of the 13% people ने कहा कि maybe रखा जा सकता है. Somebody say can't say because they don't have the clarity what to do, whether to do or not to do. But there are set of people, 6% of the population say no, we don't know why them. And further we have asked some other questions like in India, National Coordination Center for Pharmacovigilance Program for ASU drug कहाँ से इस प्रोजेक्ट का इनेकाद अमल में आ गया है? जवाब था उसका ऑल इंडिया इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ आयुर्वेदा दिल्ली. तो आइए तो लोगों ने उसका जवाब कैसे दिया हुआ है. सी, this is what is called as 63.7% people are responded out of thousands, nearly 700 people. They said that All India Institute of Ayurveda. And all these 70, more than 60% and 80% responses are, it is just because of the continuous awareness program is being conducted by the national agency, National Pharmacovigilance Center, with the help of intermediate and the peripheral centers like today what we are going to have. अगर आप हमसे पूछे इंटरमीडिएट फार्माकोविजिलेंस सेंटर यूनानी के तहत ही आज का इस प्रोग्राम को अगर हम शामिल करेंगे तो करीबन 3 दर्जन इस तरह के अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम का इनेकाद अमल में आया. करीबन हजारों लोगों ने इन प्रोग्रामों से इस्तेफादा हासिल किया. गर्ज़ो गायत यही है कि हमारे तमाम स्टेक होल्डर्स, मेडिकल स्टूडेंट्स, प्रैक्टिशनर्स, प्रोफेशनल्स, फार्मेसी पीपल, दे शुड बी अवेयर ऑफ what is this pharmacovigilance, how this pharmacovigilance will help you to strengthen your science. And somebody said that this is up to 18% people are also talking about that the CCRM is the center for this. So very unfortunate and unluckily because बहुत कम लोग जानते थे, लिहाजा हमने मजीद इनसे सवाल पूछा कि आप जानते हो हिंदुस्तान में 5 इंटरमीडिएट फार्माकोविजिलेंस सेंटर्स हैं, जिसमें यूनानी का सेंटर कहाँ है. जैसे आप सब जानते हैं नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ यूनानी मेडिसिन बेंगलुरु है. आइए इससे मुताल्लिक लोगों की आगाही कितनी रही है. देयर इज ओनली 47.9%. दिस इज वेरी बैड ऑन माय पार्ट because I think we are unable to representing the people. See, look at the Central Council for Research in Unani Medicine has nearly got 36.9, 37%. There is only marginal difference of 10% of the population. They are little bit something like an ambiguity. लोगों में थोड़ा सा confusion, overlapping था. लोग समझते थे कि भाई Central Council CCRM is basically the intermediary, but for all of them we are just what is called as making them to learn that Central Council is a big organization under which there are different centers, and the majority of the peripheral pharmacovigilance centers are under the Central Council for Research in Unani Medicine only. So here, the National Institute of Unani Medicine is the intermediate pharmacovigilance center, which got less than 50% of the representation from the people, right? And the basic question, like Tarique Mehmood sahab ne bataya, we asked the people, are adverse drug reaction and side effects same? And very happy to say, people said no. This is a very literal question. This is very happy. 61% of the population told there is a no. In the sense, they are very clear. ADRs are different from side effect. Side effect is something which is never expected, and ADR something like that is what with the pharmacological activity of the substance drug. जिस दवा को हम इस्तेमाल करते हैं उसकी जो फार्माकोलॉजिकल एक्टिविटी से जुड़ी हुई चीज होती है, जो चंद लोगों में होता है, चंद लोगों में रूनुमा नहीं होता. बट साइड इफेक्ट इज अटरली डिफरेंट. So here 61% of the people says no, but the matter of concern is 25% of the people say yes also. Mean we are focusing about this is the issue. How to convince these people who are thinking that ADRs and drug side effects are same. We are focusing about the population which says side effect and drug ADRs are same. This is the issue, and the challenge is how to communicate them, how to convince them. And the challenges are we are just reaching to the population, trying to explain them side effects are different from ADR with this knowledge of terminology, like sir already told, even I had in the presentation such a terminology. आइए एक और सवाल हमने पूछा, अगर आपने have you ever experienced, क्योंकि हम में से प्रैक्टिशनर्स बहुत हैं, टीचर्स हैं, टीचिंग इंस्टीट्यूशन, रिसर्च सेंटर्स में काम कर रहे हैं, तो हमने उनसे पूछा कि have you ever experienced adverse drug reaction in your patient during your professional practice? Then the response, is it any problem, sir? Somebody is trying to contact me. Is it audible, visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, sir.
okay.
Yes, sir.
तो हमारा जो सवाल था हमने उनसे पूछा था कि आप अपनी प्रोफेशनल प्रैक्टिस में आपके पेशेंट्स को जो भी दवाई आपने दिए थे, have you ever experienced this ADR? See, more than nearly 50% population, 46% people say no. I don't believe people are unable to justify what is side effect, what is adverse drug reaction. That makes them in a state of confusion. As a result, we couldn't get the response. Majority of the people says no, that is less than nearly 50%, and 38.5% people say that yes. Then ultimately we pose another question. If you know आपकी प्रैक्टिस में अगर आपको एडीआर महसूस हुआ है तो फिर उसका मजीद क्या किया जाए. तो हमने उनसे पूछा, हैव यू एवर रिपोर्टेड एडवर्स ड्रग रिएक्शन? लाइक अगर आपकी अपनी प्रैक्टिस में, आपकी निजी जिंदगी में भी कभी आपके अपने अजीजों के साथ या किसी मरीज या दोस्त अहबाब में भी कहीं किसी को एडवर्स ड्रग रिएक्शन हुआ तो आप क्या करोगे? तो देन इस सवाल से मुताल्लिक जवाब हमें मिला 686 people, mean a majority, say that no, हमने नहीं किया. And this is another a big challenge. Why? Somebody said don't know how to fill up the ADR reporting form. Somebody said don't know where to submit the ADR form. That there is a specific customized adverse drug reaction reporting form is there. We have only 251. 25% people say yes, हमने report किया. आइए इससे मजीद और हमने बातें की. Because somebody has raised a question where to report, how to report, then we ask the question where to report an ADR related to ASU drug. Then we have given options here that you can submit at the peripheral center. Suppose the people who are staying in Lucknow, they can submit that ADR at the CRIUM, that is a peripheral center. If you don't want, you can send online to the official website. We have one dedicated website that also is going to ask. You can go and ask the National Pharmacovigilance Center, Delhi. There are intermediate pharmacovigilance center, and above all, you can submit your response to any one of the above, because from base to upper level or from above to below, that regulatory authorities will take care of with information to all the linked people. Here the response what we got is 52.7% people say any one of the above. This is very right, because all sectors are responsible to consider the ADR form, ADRs when you report to them. Among the following, Dr. Tarique Mehmood sir has all well told about that. Who is responsible to report the ADR? कोई डॉक्टर अगर दवाई तजवीज करता है तो मरीज नुस्खा ले जाएगा, फार्मेसी से दवाई ले लेगा, घर जाएगा, इस्तेमाल करेगा. So we have a series of the people involved. If it is outpatient case, sometimes if the patient was admitted in the hospital, doctor, nurses, dispensing people, and patient caretaker, ward boys, all the people are there. Here the question arises that if the patient is admitted in the hospital, or if the patient is taking treatment at the OPD level or at the residential level, who are the people responsible for? Here the question we have designed and asked that this here it includes doctor alone is not responsible to report the ADR. If the nurse who is taking care of the patient, they also can respond. Patients, they themselves can go and submit their complaints to the Peripheral Pharmacovigilance Center, the nearest doctor, or the pharmacist to whom the patient pursued and took the medication. They also can consider for response. I mean to say, the people to whom we have mentioned, all the people are responsible to submit the ADRs to the respective authorities. Here, luckily, we got 67.3% of the responses are right. So, जैसे तारिक साहब ने कहा था, और हम भी जानते हैं कि ADR का सीक्वेंस में पेशेंट का अटेंडर, उसके अलावा फार्मासिस्ट, इस चैनल में जितने भी लोग हेल्थ डिलीवरी से जुड़े हुए हैं, वो तमाम लोग, all of them are responsible. They can go for reporting this one. And the question arises, is there any specific ADR reporting form for ASU drugs? जैसे यूनानी से लोगों ने हमसे पूछा, yes, there is a specific. We got 56% of the responses says probably these people have they have evidences that हमने हर प्रोग्राम में, जब भी वेबिनार हुआ है, फिजिकल प्रोग्राम्स में, हमने लोगों में ADR फॉर्म तकसीम किए, प्रैक्टिशनर्स को उनके अपने ओपिनियन इनकॉर्पोरेट करते हुए उसको इतना सहल बनाया हुआ है कि किसी भी डॉक्टर को, इवन एक ऑर्डिनरी मैन आल्सो कैन इनपुट ऑल द इंफॉर्मेशन दैट ADR फॉर्म. बहुत अगर कोई दिक्कत हो, we have mentioned that 24/7 what is called the toll free number, जिससे आप कांटेक्ट कर सकते हो, and this is a very easily. We happy to say 56% people say they have well versed with this specific ADR form. And the main question arises that Dr. Tarique sir was talking about, that there are so many factors which are responsible for the manifestation of this what's called the pharmacovigilance like activity, which is ADR. Drug interaction, sometimes drug food interaction, drug and different substances interaction, environmental factors, comorbid diseases are there. So the one question we posed among all the people, is it mixopathy, mean combination of more than one drug? Either it could be a Unani or Unani and conventional modern drug, or Ayurveda, sometime homeo. Can we allow to mix all these kind of drugs? And the responses are something like people say yes. 47% people say that is yes, and there is a state of confusion. 33% of the people are in a state of confusion, say maybe, हो सकता है, मुमकिन है, इस तरह के सवाल आ रहे थे. So this is the challenge for us. We have to convince the population, 33% of the population, how this mixopathy is going to do, because drug-drug interaction is a big chapter nowadays, and that is one of the reason and responsible for the major cause of the death in the Indian population, not only in the globally. And here we ask another question: do you think poor quality of drugs, prescription error, dispensing errors can also cause ADR? यहाँ इससे मुराद है कि जो दवाई बाजार में दस्तयाब है वो शायद क्वालिटी वाइज इतनी अच्छी नहीं होती. एक बसाखत ये होता है कि डॉक्टर, बहुत सारे अवामिल होते हैं जिसमें नफ्सियाती पहलू भी शामिल किया जा सकता है, या बहुत ही बिजी डॉक्टर्स बाज़ जब नुस्खा तरतीब देते हैं तो कुछ ना कुछ चीजें गलती हो जाती है, प्रिस्क्रिप्शन एरर. या मुमकिन है डॉक्टर खमरी के लिए एक नुस्खा तजवीज किया था, गलती से डॉक्टर आबिद के नाम चला गया, अब आबिद का मर्ज अलग था, डॉक्टर खमरी का मर्ज अलग था. दिस इज कॉल्ड एज समटाइम लाइक ए प्रिस्क्रिप्शन एरर कैन आल्सो लीड्स टू बी ADR. ऐसा भी हो सकता है. एंड अनदर थिंग, डिस्पेंसिंग एरर. दवा दादों के यहाँ फार्मेसी में जाइएगा, बहुत सारी चीजें लुक्स अलाइक, स्पेल्स अलाइक, जैसे बहुत सारी चीजें ऐसी एक जैसी मुशाबे रहती हैं. अगर मुफरदात की बात हो, आजकल मुरक्कब दवाओं में कुछ डब्बियां, बॉक्सेस, पैकेज इस तरह के आ रहे हैं कि कंफ्यूजन में sometimes it happened dispensing error also. We have reported that, and the people started giving the complaint that 76% of the population says yes, there are responsible causes for the ADRs as like a prescription error, dispensing error. Poor quality of the drug is also played to be a very major role in what is called as the development of the ADRs. हमने ये भी उनसे सवाल किया, do you think that ADR results due to negligence from the side of, there is an important part here, is an ethical question, negligency. Sometimes prescription error हमने बोला, और dispensing error भी बताया, negligency भी कहाँ किसकी negligency हो सकता है. तो we made all the people, physician, primarily the doctor who is giving treatment, pharmacist who is dispersing the medicine, patient, the patient who is taking the medicine, sometimes paramedical staff, nursing staff, attendants. We said all of the above. In fact, the answer is all of the, not the none of the above. But here wrongly it is mentioned 70% people are in a state that all the people and their negligency also plays a very important role in the manifestations of ADR. Which of the following ADR should be reported? Like Tarique sir was talking about, that ADR should be immediately reported because there is a time specificity for the ADR. But now we have not grown to the extent. The reporting of the ADR is, we are trying to make it mandatory. कि हम तो लाजमी तौर पे करवाना चाहते हैं, so that आपकी साइंस, हमारी तिब को हम बिल्कुल ये साबित कर सकें कि ये इसमें how much potential we have, how much what is called as the ADR free science we have. अगर हैं तो what is the intensity? The question here we concerned that based upon the intensity of the severity of the ADR when to be reported. तो सवाल हमें यहाँ मिला कि all that this is called as all the states, like if this ADR is mild, moderate, severe, तीनों सूरतों में भी लोग चाहते हैं कि इसको रिपोर्ट करना चाहिए. But do remember that all serious kind of ADR should be promptly taken care, because sometimes this serious ADRs can lead to permanently disability of the life, or prolonged hospitalization, or sometimes comorbidities, or beyond that sometimes it is a life threatening, it can lead to death also. If it is a mild to moderate, you can take time, but serious should be serious kind of area should be taken care on a war food basis. Okay, but here we got that 69.4%, 70% people says all, nothing is exempted, whether it could be mild or moderate or severe, all the kind of area should be reported. This is, we agree. And do you think that reporting of ADR reaction, क्योंकि सवाल ये रहा था, बाज लोग बोल रहे थे कि why we should report. Some people, they are recently had a program. One of the person who's attending the program, he asked me, if we started reporting the ADR, then we are going to make the graveyard for our own science. जैसे कहते हैं ना, खबरस्तान बनाना है, खबर बना रहे हैं, we are responsible for the damaging to our own system of medicine. This kind of a question I come across. If you started reporting the ADR, and one supposed to understand the nature of the ADR, then I think we have a clarity. मैं उस फर्द की इस ख्याल से इख्तिलाफ रखता हूँ क्योंकि उनकी सोच शायद मनफी की तरफ जा रही थी। अगर हम इसको बैनुल अक़वामी सतह पे इस तिप को अगर फरोग दिलाना चाहते हैं तो ये दिस इज द नीड ऑफ द टाइम, इस वक्त की जरूरत है कि आप इन तमाम चीजों से वादे करवाइए, आगे करवाइए, दवाओं के लेबलिंग पे करवा दीजिएगा कि इस ड्रग से जुड़े हुए एडीआर क्या हो सकते हैं। सो ग्लोबली पीपल आर रेडी टू एक्सेप्ट कन्वेंशन द अल्टरनेटिव सिस्टम ऑफ ड्रग्स अपार्ट फ्रॉम द कन्वेंशनल सिस्टम ऑफ मेडिसिन। तो इस बात को हमने मद्देनजर रखते पूछा था कि डू यू थिंक दैट, क्या आप समझते हो कि रिपोर्ट करना चाहिए, इज इट नेसेसरी? People say that 84% people said yes. Really, I feel very happy. There are very sensitive, responsible people out there, but at the same time, 4% of the population say no. Somebody say can't say 4%. Maybe that again is an ambiguity. किया जा सकता है. So opportunistic kind of the people are there. 8%. They said किया जा सकता है, नहीं किया जा सकता. No, this is the target of our issues and the challenges. How to convince them? How to make them to be more sensitizing the objectives of the program. Then, do you think that ADR reporting should be made mandatory? अवाम नास के लिए नहीं बल्कि मेडिकल फील्ड के लोगों के लिए भी, जिसमें फिजिशियन को, फार्मासिस्ट को, नर्सिंग स्टाफ को, सबको लिए मैंडेटरी करना चाहिए। यस, गवर्नमेंट इज कमिंग विद एन ऑब्जेक्टिव, in future it will be a mandatory. 80% of the people says yes. As a physician, we and all of you and some of the students are the pharmacists, even the stakeholders like a pharmacist, pharmacy, drug developers also, it is making them mandatory to report it. Mandatory, मतलब लाजमी हो जाएगा. And here we got 80% of the population says yes. 12% again maybe. हमने मजीद पूछा कि आप जहां जिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से जुड़े हो, अगर आप तालिब इल्म हो तो किसी इदारे से होंगे, आप किसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पे काम कर रहे हो तो हमने उनसे पूछा कि आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की नौयत से जानते हुए उनसे पूछा, इज देयर एनी फार्माकोविजिलेंस कमिटी इन योर इंस्टीट्यूट एंड वर्क प्लेस? बिकॉज pharmacovigilance has taken now it has a momentum globally. Most of the European countries and the developed nation, they have established pharmacovigilance centers at their institutional, clinical, hospital level. Even India is also going to start the same thing here. So we ask it because 74 peripheral centers and other many more things are there. So toward this question, we got a response. Somebody said that 50% of the population says yes, we have pharmacovigilance committee. We don't know. We are looking to about this 50% people, what sort of a pharmacovigilance committee they have. Is it truly constituted, functioning? Objectives are also we are trying to look into that. 22% of the population says don't know, they don't have any idea. Clear cut people, 18% say no, we don't have any other. Some of the 10% people say not formed, mean they are about to form itself. Nearly, if you add together, 60% of the populations are about to accept the importance of the pharmacovigilance committees, right? And do you think the pharmacovigilance should be taught in the detail at all healthcare professional? Like अभी बात आ रही है कि निसाब में शामिल किया जाए, करिकुलम में फार्माकोविजिलेंस को शामिल करना चाहिए, है तो कहाँ पे? राइट नाउ आयुर्वेदा में तो पीएचडी लेवल पे काम हो रहा है, पीजी पे नहीं. यूनानी में भी पीजी लेवल पे कुछ ऐसा काम नहीं हो रहा है, एंड वी आर गोइंग टू स्टार्ट, इट सीम्स टू बी सब्जेक्ट टू दैट अपेक्स बॉडी हैज टू गिव इट्स कंकरेंस. ग्रेजुएशन लेवल पे क्या इसको फार्माकोविजिलेंस को भी निसाब में शामिल किया जाए, सो दैट द पीपल शुड बी थरोली वर्स्ड विद द नॉलेज ऑफ द फार्माकोविजिलेंस. यहां लोग कहते हैं कि 89% of the population they are agree, yes, it is to be taught at the all healthcare professionals. It includes not only the doctors, the nurses, pharmacists, paramedical staff, all the people should have. It is a must, like anatomy, physiology and medicine. Similarly, with the pharmacology, one has to talk about the pharmacovigilance also. This is a very good initiation by the people. अगर ये है तो इस इश्यू को कैसे कवर किया जाए? How to convince the apex body? How to frame the curriculum? This is the challenge for the people, right? हमने मजीद पूछा कि have you ever read any article on prevention of adverse drug reaction? Because आज का दौर इंटरनेट का दौर है, हर छोटी चीज के लिए we are just searching, browsing Google some xyz.com. Yeah, the people have started finding out that आपने कभी किसी एरिया से रिलेटेड कोई पढ़ा? तो इस सिलसिले में हमारे पास कोई जवाब इस तरह के से 55% of the population says that we often review articles on prevention of adverse drug reaction. This is about the consciousness about the people, because जनरली माना जाता है कि कन्वेंशनल ड्रग्स में ज्यादा एरियाज होते हैं, but one time we cannot deny also that alternative drugs also having similar kind of things. So people are looking about the articles, the information which is available globally about the public domain. Then coming to the important objective, this is the only objective which is we have in India. Pharmacovigilance प्रोग्राम दुनिया के मुख्तलिफ ममालिकों में, शहरों में है, लेकिन हिंदुस्तान एक वाहिद मुल्क है जहां फार्माकोविजिलेंस के ऑब्जेक्टिव्स में मिसलीडिंग एडवर्टाइजमेंट को भी शामिल किया. दिस इज द ओनली कंट्री which has taken this misleading advertisement as a very important part as a part of the pharmacovigilance program. हमने सवाल किया many आयुष मेडिसिन related advertisements in TV. आए दिन टेलीविजन में, अखबारों में, इवन दिस व्हाट्सएप एंड डिफरेंट पब्लिक डोमाइंस पे हमें देख रहे हैं कि पर्टिकुलर सिस्टम से रिलेटेड, यहाँ पे कोई यूनानी नहीं बल्कि हर सिस्टम से रिलेटेड देखा गया कि न्यूज़पेपर, रोड साइड पोस्टर एक्सेट्रा में आर यू क्लेमिंग क्यूर फॉर वेरियस डिजीजेस. डू यू कंसिडर देम एज मिसलीडिंग एडवर्टाइजमेंट? हमने सवाल किया कि इस तरह के इश्तिहारात, इस तरह की जो तशहीर की जा रही है, हमने लोगों से पूछा कि आप इस चीज को मिसलीडिंग समझते हो, मानते हो? तो जो लोगों से हमें जवाब मिला, 55% लोगों ने कहा कि यस, these are all misleading kind of advertisement, not to be promoted. 22% people said no, 15% maybe. This is again ambiguity. And then the further question we pose them, do you think misleading advertisement should be reported? अगर ऐसा है तो क्या उसको रिपोर्ट करना चाहिए? Answer is yes. Look at this point. Here we got 82% of the population say yes, we have to brought it to the notice. इसको रिपोर्ट करना चाहिए. Then to whom to report? सवाल था, डू यू नो दैट अगर है मिसलीडिंग एडवर्टाइजमेंट है तो कहां किया जाए? हर स्टेट में स्टेट ड्रग लाइसेंसिंग अथॉरिटीज होते हैं. दे आर द पीपल रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर गिविंग लाइसेंस टू द मैन्युफैक्चरर्स. तो इस पे हमें जो जवाब मिला, पीपल से दैट ओनली 26% ऑफ द पॉपुलेशन सेज दैट स्टेट लाइसेंसिंग अथॉरिटी. ये बहुत ही हमारे लिए बड़ा अफसोस की बात है कि हमने हर प्रोग्राम में इस बात को शामिल किया, क्या मिसलीडिंग एडवर्टाइजमेंट को कहां करना चाहिए, कैसे रिपोर्ट करना चाहिए, लेकिन हम लोगों तक पहुंच नहीं पाए इस बात को लेके, इस जवाब को लेके. एंड नाउ वी आर फोकसिंग ऑन दिस पॉइंट विद मोर एंथुसियाज्म, हाउ टू मेक द पीपल टू बी sensitizing about the drug licensing authority is the one who is responsible for controlling such a misleading advertisement published in either electronic and digital media. बहुत सारे लोगों ने कहा yeah, any of the above. नहीं, this is 34 is a very poor wrong. Only 26% people says state drug licensing authorities. हमने फिर उनसे पूछा कि अगर आपने मिसलीडिंग एडवर्टाइजमेंट देखा है, आपने कभी कहीं की रिपोर्ट किया? से 92% people accept that no. क्यों? Only 8% of the population said that we have reported. We are not sure. We are just accepting their statement, yes or no. Maybe some of the people, they don't have the clarity, but the data says that 92% says that हमने कभी misleading advertisement को नहीं किया. मैं यहाँ एक बात कहना चाह रहा हूँ कि यूनानी के किसी प्रोडक्ट को अगर गलत तरीके से कोई तशहीर कर रहा है, उसके बाद अगर कोई एडवर्सरीज हो जाए, सोसाइटी में नुकसान हो जाए, तो अल्टीमेटली सिस्टम बदनाम होगा. अगर इसकी तशहीर किसी पोस्टर के जरिए या किसी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक या डिजिटल मीडिया के थ्रू किया जा रहा है और वही आपके सिस्टम के लिए ड्रॉबैक अगर बन जाए, डू यू फील इट इज ए प्राइड फॉर अस? नो, आई डोंट थिंक सो. द पीपल वोंट एक्सेप्ट. सो इट इज आवर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, व्हेनेवर यू कम अक्रॉस दिस काइंड ऑफ थिंग, प्लीज रिपोर्ट इट. राइट. इंडिया में ये बड़े बिल्कुल लिटररी क्वेश्चन है कि यहाँ हिंदुस्तान में जब मिसलीडिंग एडवर्टाइजमेंट जैसी चीजों को कंट्रोल किया जाता है तो उसके लिए कोई कानून बना होगा. हाँ, देयर इज ए एक्ट कॉल्ड एज ड्रग एंड मैजिक रेमेडीज एक्ट 1954, जिसमें वाजे तौर पे दिया हुआ है कि 52 डिजीजेस ऐसे हैं जिसकी तरतीब से लिस्ट भी पाई गई है, उस पर कोई भी बंदा किसी भी तरह का अपील नहीं कर सकता कि मैं उसका शर्तिया तौर पे इलाज करूंगा. यूनानी बड़ी बहुत ही बदनाम है, अक्सर लेके सेक्सुअल मेडिसिन से रिलेटेड एंड बहुत सारे क्रॉनिक डिजीज के लिए लोग बड़े शर्तिया इलाज करते हैं. बहुधा ये तमाम चीजें ऐसी हैं कि गवर्नमेंट ने इन पे पाबंदी लागू की हुई है. अकॉर्डिंग टू ड्रग एंड मैजिक रेमेडीज एक्ट 1954, यू कैन नॉट क्लेम एनीथिंग लाइक दिस. एंड इफ यू आर डूइंग चैलेंज व्हेन यू आर वर्किंग अगेंस्ट दिस एक्ट, नहीं करना चाहिए. तो हमने लोगों की नॉलेज को महसूस करने की कोशिश की. सो वी गॉट दैट ओनली 22% ऑफ द पीपल नो अबाउट दिस. ये मे बी ए चांस और लिटरली बाद लोग जानते होंगे. अगर जानते हैं तो then they have to be very careful. I request all the people who responded positively to communicate the other to not to be indulge this kind of activity or to take care of preventing such a misleading advertisements. Okay. Yeah, this is 27%, 27.4% people are involved in the magic remedy. They know about it. Okay. Have you ever been subjected to pharmacovigilance? This is the very fundamental question. आज के इस प्रोग्राम में करीबन मेरे ख्याल से 100 से ज्यादा लोग हैं, करीब 100 लोग इसमें शिरकत करे हुए हैं. हमने इस तरह के करीबन 3 दर्जन प्रोग्राम मैं एज ए कोऑर्डिनेटर इसमें शिरकत किया हुआ हूं और हिंदुस्तान में और दीगर तिब के भी लोगों ने विदाउट कंसिडरिंग दिस अवेयरनेस टू पर्टिकुलर सिस्टम. लाइक मैं आज यूनानी पे मैंने काफी बातें की, बट हमारे ऑब्जेक्टिव्स सबके एक जैसे हैं. आशु के, आयुर्वेदा, यूनानी, सिद्धा, सोया, रिक्पा, होम्यो, सबके ऑब्जेक्टिव्स एक ही हैं. तो हमने ये जो प्रोग्राम्स कंडक्ट करवाए, काफी लोगों ने इससे इस्तेफादा हासिल किया. तो हमने काफी लोगों से जब ये सवाल पूछा, तो हमें वी गॉट वेरी मार्जिनल डिफरेंस ऑफ 50%, अराउंड नियर 50% पीपल से नो. जबकि हिंदुस्तान में करीबन 50,000 रजिस्टर्ड प्रैक्टिशनर, 2,500 से ज्यादा लोग फारिग हो रहे हैं, ग्रेजुएट हो रहे हैं, रिसर्चर्स हैं. इतने बड़े अजीम शान मुल्क, और हमने दावे के साथ कहा कि इंडिया इज द वन ग्लोबल कैपिटल फॉर यूनानी मेडिसिन. जबकि हमने खुद 3 दर्जन प्रोग्राम अवेयरनेस के करवाए, बावजूद उसके सिर्फ हमने 55% लोग इस बात का जवाब दे रहे हैं कि हमारे प्रोग्राम में शिरकत की. सो द ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ द प्रोग्राम इज टू मेक यू टू बी अवेयर दिस. आई होप दैट कि आप लोग हमारी मदद करोगे इस गर्ज से कि हम अपने तिब को वाजे तौर पे बैनुल अक़वामी सतह पे कबूल करने के लिए, मतलब जो द पीपल कैन एक्सेप्ट ग्लोबली. एंड द अनदर क्वेश्चन वी आस्क, जैसे आप अगर एडीआरस हो तो कहाँ उसको रिपोर्ट करना है, तो पेरिफेरल सेंटर की बात बताएं. अगर आप किसी कस्बा गांव में रहते हो, तालुक में रहते हो, जहां से किसी पेरिफेरल सेंटर नहीं है, नाउअडेज वी आर वेरी मच यूज्ड टू विद दिस इंटरनेट. तो आयुष सुरक्षा .com एक वेबसाइट है, डेडिकेटेड वेबसाइट है, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ आयुष की तरफ से जो लॉन्च किया गया है. यहाँ जाइएगा, then there is a dedicated digital form is there, so you can submit all the information, and your confidentiality will be taken care, and the representative from the rear end will contact you, and आप जिस इलाके में वहां के नियर से लोग आपसे कांटेक्ट करेंगे, and they will try to assess the nature of ADR. इस सवाल के जवाब में हमें सिर्फ ओनली 38% लोगों ने जवाब दिया हुआ है, राइट आंसर था, जबकि 53% पीपल आयुष फार्माकोविजिलेंस.com, जबकि इस तरह का कोई वेबसाइट मौजूद ही नहीं है. मे बी देयर इज अ कंफ्यूजन, एंड हम चाहते हैं कि एज ए आवर ऑब्जेक्टिव इज टू मेक अवेयरनेस, लोगों को ट्रेन किया जाए, लोगों से मुराद यहाँ से मुराद हेल्थ केयर प्रोफेशनल्स को एजुकेट किया जाए, ऑब्जेक्टिव से आगाह करा जाए. We have wanted to develop a culture of reporting the ADR. So we are coming forward, and we need all the people support, and this is one dedicated website through which you can do. अल्टीमेट ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ द प्रोग्राम, हमारे वेबिनार्स का मकसद ये है कि हमारी जो स्टडी से हमने जो स्टडी कंडक्ट करवाया था, जिसमें मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल आर फॉलोइंग इन द गुड क्वालिटी, गुड द कैटेगरी 38%, और एक्सेलेंट इज ओनली 30%, ना वेरी पुअर 17% थे. हम इन तमाम लोगों में इंप्रूवमेंट चाहते हैं, पुअर की तादाद घट जाए, एक्सेलेंस बढ़ जाए, लोगों में नॉलेज ऑफ दिस फार्माकोविजिलेंस वाजे तौर पे समझ में आ जाए. अगर आप अपने किसी भी सिस्टम से आप ताल्लुक रखते हो, वी विश टू सी द इंप्रूवमेंट, अंडरस्टैंडिंग, क्लियरेंस, एंड लिटिल बिट अकाउंटेबिलिटी ऑफ रिपोर्टिंग ऑल दिस थिंग्स. फाइनली द कंक्लूजन इज, जबकि हिंदुस्तान में सिंस 2018 से फार्माकोविजिलेंस प्रोग्राम फॉर आयुष ड्रग फंक्शनिंग हो रहा है. इस गर्ज के तहत आज तक करीबन 74 पीपीवीसी, 5 आईपीवीसी काम कर रहे हैं. ऑब्जेक्टिव्स हमारा यही है कि टू प्रोवाइड सेफ ड्रग्स एंड पेशेंट केयर. टोटली द पेशेंट केयर इज हियर इंपॉर्टेंट, एंड टू सेफ ड्रग्स टू बी गिवन. इस घर से हमने सेवरल अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम्स करवाए, जो फिजिकल भी रहे एज वेल एज वर्चुअल भी रहे. गर्ज और गायद यही रही कि टू सेंसिटाइज द स्टेक होल्डर. यहाँ स्टेक होल्डर से मुराद प्रैक्टिशनर, स्टूडेंट्स, फार्मेसी, ड्रग डेवलपर, एवरीबडी इज हियर. एंड द इनसाइट ऑफ द प्रेजेंट सर्वे इज, हमने जो कुछ करवाया है, टू ऑर्गेनाइज मोर अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम्स and make stakeholders accountable to reach the objectives. This is what my purpose of discussion and deliberation. Thank you for patiently listening to me.
Thank you very much, sir, for delivering such a wonderful talk.
Yeah. If you have any query, question, I'm here to attend all of your questions. Thank you, Dr. Tarique Mehmood ji, because there is no overlapping between you and me, sir. Though the topic is one and same.
Thank you very much, sir. It's my pleasure. My pleasure.
Yes, sir. So this is what we are thought is the challenges and the issues, and we are making the strategy plan to how to come out of these challenges, issues also, sir. If anybody is having any query, question, we are here to attend your query, please.
Anyone has queries?
Or feel free that my email ID is available, and my contact number is also available over the Intermediate Pharmacovigilance Center.
Hello.
Nice to see.
Hello.
Please go ahead.
Sir, is any portal is available, sir, for reporting PV for Ayush drug?
regarding the farm. This is ADR related issue. Yeah, there's ayushsuraksha.com. Otherwise, you do one thing, go visit to the All India Institute of Ayurveda, New Delhi. There is again, we have over this website, there is a one particular domain, Ayush Suraksha. This is here, Dr. Amjad Sefi has mentioned, ayushsuraksha.com. You please visit here, you will get the digital form where you can put all your information. The confidentiality of the person will be taken care, and all other things are there. Or otherwise, you can reach to the nearest Peripheral Pharmacovigilance Center.
That's the most simple thing.
Yeah, that's the government is planning to extend few more centers, sir. Please, sir.
Yes, sir. My humble submission or suggestion to all the fellow practitioners of ASU&H said that, as Dr. Aleemuddin sir very well said, that it should be a part of the curriculum, either as a subject or as a part as a unit of subject. But before that, one thing we all should do that, do at least one training program of pharmacovigilance, either do online or offline, at least 6 weeks training program minimum. So all that queries and all that things should be clear to all of you, that what is that PVPI program and what should be happened and what I should know about that one. So it is my suggestion to all my fellow colleagues who want to learn about that pharmacovigilance. It is better to take a refresher online course. Many online and offline both courses are available related to pharmacovigilance.
Definitely, sir. Definitely, we'll discuss this under the with the policy holders. Of course, we used to conduct the CME programs also. Recent past,
yes.
The place at the National Institute of Unani Medicine itself, we have organized one Ayush Suraksha. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, we are forcibly looking toward this virtually. Otherwise, we had one physical CME here also for 2 days, where the very globally reputed speakers, we call them. And in future also, if the time permits, we are going to have this kind of a thing, sir. Definitely,
yes,
this is under consideration. But anyhow, this is a very good remark for us. We'll definitely will take care of this and we'll come forward with this one, sir.
Thank you so much.
Welcome, sir. Definitely.
Thank you very much, sir. We hope that the lectures of both the experts will help the participants, especially the Ayush community, to understand the objective of the pharmacovigilance. So now I would like to invite Dr. Ziaul Haq Siddiqui, Research Officer, Unani and Scientist Level 4, PRAU Lucknow, to deliver.
Thank you, Dr. Mohd for inviting me. Respected Deputy Director, Dr. Mohammad Nafiz Khan, and our most valued invited participants, it's my privilege to have been asked to propose word of thanks on the conclusion of this webinar. First, I would like to thank our Director General CCRM, Professor Asim Ali Khan Sahab, CCRM New Delhi, for his immense support to conduct this webinar. I would like to thank Dr. Ghalib, Coordinator, National Pharmacovigilance Coordination Center, All India Institute of Ayurveda, New Delhi. And now I spread my special thanks to the eminent guest speakers of today's webinar, Professor Mohd Aleemuddin Quamri and Dr. Tarique Mehmood Sahab, for presenting very informative and valuable lectures and sparing their valuable time for this, making this webinar successful. I would also like to thank Dr. Rabia Malik, Program Associate Intermediately for Pharmacovigilance Center, NIM Bangalore, for her dedication and support. I would also like to thank Dr. Mohammad Nafiz Khan, Sir, Deputy Director, CRM Lucknow, for his guidance and also for providing necessary infrastructure and support to conduct this webinar. I, on behalf of Peripheral Pharmacovigilance Center, CRM Lucknow, would like to thank all the participants and all the officers of our council who made this webinar successful by finding some of his valuable time for this webinar. We appreciate you all bearing with us. I would also like to thank all the supporting staff from my institute and everyone who made this webinar to run and conclude smoothly. Thank you all once again. Thank you very much.
Thank
Over
you.
to you,
Thank you.
Dr. Mohammad Akhil Azim.
Congratulations, the Deputy Director of CRAM Lucknow and the team of the both of speakers were as a good lecture for the people, especially Unani research scholars or the students. It's a very good lecture, both of you. I will be thankful for our institute behalf of RRIU Maligarh. Thank you very much, or team Lucknow. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Parvez. Thank you, Dr. Zahir, for joining with us. Dr.
Thank you very
Tarique
much, sir.
Mehmood, sir, once again, thank you.
It was nice to
Dr.
know the
Zahir,
outcome of the KAP study which you have done.
Thank you, sir. We are going to publish it at earlier, sir.
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया डॉक्टर जहीर साहब.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Stop streaming.